Hi, guys. My name is Braxton Burrell. I'm here with the review, and I'm interviewing the editors in chief of the English department journals. Do you guys all want to just take a turn introducing yourselves and telling me a little bit about your journal?
Of course. My name is Eamon. Do you want me to look at the camera?
No, look at me.
Okay. My name is Eamon Schultz. I am the editor-in-chief of Touchstones. We are a literary magazine that focuses on poetry and prose.
Hi, I'm Viviana Camargo. I am the editor-in-chief for Essays, which is the academic critical analysis journal of the English department.
Nice.
And I'm Sarah Pueyo. I'm the editor-in-chief of Warp and Weave, for UV's speculative fiction publication.
How did you all get involved in the journal?
So I actually started off in publicity. And when I tell you I did nothing, it's not me underselling myself. I did nothing that semester to the point that I told the editor-in-chief to take me out of the journal. I was like, don't put my name in it. I did nothing, and they still put me in. And then from then on, I was just involved with the journal, actually doing stuff. I went from head publicist to head poetry, and then now editor-in-chief.
Mine's is actually a really funny story. I didn't know I was a part of the journal. My friend was editor-in-chief last fall, and she just told the advisor that I was now a part of the journal. And so I found myself as an associate editor, and then the managing editor this past spring, and now editor-in-chief.
I heard about Warp and Weave in Professor Smith Johnson's class when they were talking about the different publications, and being a lover of like horror and gothic literature, it felt right up my alley. So I joined in fall 2021, and I've been on staff ever since. Started out as a regular editor, and I'm now editor-in-chief.
So I know that the staff of each journal works a little bit differently. Do you guys want to tell me maybe about like the different positions someone can hold and like different ways that they can get involved in the journal?
Yeah, of course. In Touchstones, we have a masthead that comprises of the editor-in-chief, the head poetry editor, head prose editor, managing editor, and the technical editor. And head poetry and prose, self-explanatory. They're in charge of that process for the respective genres. Managing editor is essentially the assistant of the editor-in-chief. They do notes during meetings, really help me keep track of stuff. And then the technical editor heads up the typesetting process. And then from there, we have our general staff who will help us with reading and editing, poetry and prose. And sometimes we have publicists.
So ours is just the main staff, which is they're all internship credit positions. We have the editor-in-chief who just handles and oversees every single stage and assigns things. We have managing editors. Currently there are two, sometimes there's been one, but it's a pretty big job because they are the second hand, so two is normally what we try to go for. We have our tech editor who again helps with like typesetting, and she's also, well, currently she is also our publicist, so social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, no TikTok. And then we have our associate editors who want to take the job a little bit more seriously and who want like an internship credit, and the hope for them is that they will rise into further positions as the semesters come. And then we just have contributing editors who help us read and edit.
So at Warp and Weave, we have two positions for internships. We have the editor-in-chief, which oversees the journal for the semester, and the editor-in-chief can also have a managing editor, which is our second internship option. They sort of oversee the editing process. Other than that, we have a technical editor who helps with our typesetting and compiling. We have a publicist that manages like PR, social media, and then other than that, we just have contributing staff. We have a pretty large staff this semester, over 30 members, but it's a lot. But we try and work with everybody's schedule, so if you're interested in learning how to edit or typeset, it's a great place to start because we don't overwhelm you with too much.
Yeah, I think joining staff is a really good opportunity for someone who's interested in going into that field. Is there any other reasons you would give someone to convince them to join staff? And any of you can answer.
I will say, before I was a staff member, I was a contributor. I had a poem published about 2 years ago, but before then, I didn't even have people read my poems. Like, that was really the first time that anyone had seen them. And it was an interesting experience of getting it out there. And after I had gotten it out there, it was just easy to continue on the process with Touchstones, with wanting to be more involved, with wanting to understand like choosing process of publication. And honestly, being a part of it has really helped with my own writing because I have more of an idea of, okay, if I was the one picking this, I would have stopped reading by now and stuff like that. And so it's been very enlightening as a writer.
Anything else?
Essays usually doesn't tend to have like a really big contributing staff. It is a very rigorous process because we are editing like 8 to 15 page academic papers. But I do want to say that even if you're not specifically going for academic writing, it's a really good foundation to build your writing in general, whether it's creative, academic, poetry, because you learn a lot of how just writing works, how to make an impact with a paper or anything. And so I think even if it's not something you're pursuing or you're not necessarily in that like niche of like wanting to write research papers, I think it would just be like really good foundationally to have because it does help you like throughout. And my writing has gotten increasingly better from each stage that I've been a part of it.
Yeah, I think being an editor definitely helps with your writing. So if you're looking to become a stronger writer, becoming an editor and learning how to edit is a great way to do that. It's also a great way to learn typesetting if that's something that you're interested in but don't know if you want to take the time to do a full set of classes in it. It's a great way to learn, and I think it's also a great place to find community, especially at Warp and Weave, we're the speculative fiction journal. So we cover things like fantasy, sci-fi, horror, and gothic. And it's a great place to meet other students that either write or edit or just love those genres. And it kind of gives you a sense of community that you wouldn't have otherwise. That's where I found a lot of my friends here.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I was on the journal in previous semesters, and that's where I've made most of my friends at college. So it's a really good place to meet people. From the contributor's perspective, like what are some reasons you would give someone to submit to the journal?
It's a great way to get published if you're an undergrad student. There aren't a lot of opportunities for undergrad students to even get published in an academic setting. So it's a great experience in regards to that. And it's also great for like grad school applications, job applications, resumes. It really adds to your portfolio. So I think it's a great way to get your foot in the door of publishing before you even graduate.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
I know you guys get a lot of submissions and not nearly all of those are published. What things are you looking for in like a publishable submission?
Touchstones focuses more on literary fiction and creative nonfiction as well as poetry. And we are more looking for like literary genre of work.
Relevance, something fun, something new. When you work with like theories like psychoanalysis, gender, eco-criticism, all these things, it can kind of get repetitive. So we do look for something that's new or that's interesting or a new take specifically, or something like relevant currently, like book bans, or we have like the Bronte class, literary genre. We also do film. It's not just necessarily like books or anything like that. So I hope that was good.
Yeah.
For Warp and Weave, I'd say something that we see a lot with submissions that we end up not publishing is they'll either be really great at world building and not have a plot, or they'll have a great plot but no world to put this plot in. And so I think just gauging the scope, knowing that it's going to be a shorter piece, so make sure that the world building is also in place, but also the plot and the characters are also there. Just hitting that balance is where we see it most.
And I know your deadline has already passed, unfortunately, but you guys both have deadlines coming up soon. Do you want to just tell us what those deadlines are?
Yeah, of course. The Touchstones deadline is September 25th for writing submissions. And then for art submissions, it is October 21st.
And for Warp and Weave, our writing submission deadline is October 4th. And for artwork, it's October 11th.
And is there anything else that you think that people should know about student journals in general?
They're a great way to build a community. Like we've mentioned that a lot of us made friends there. It's really fun, especially if it's like we have a couple first years or a couple people just like coming in trying to build a community. Especially I think in like the English department, there's not like a lot of opportunity to be friends because it's a lot of solo work. But it's a great way to make friends, have fun, grab good experience, and like Sarah said, really get a foot into the door if you're looking to pursue this further whether it be grad school or like a job opportunity within the field.
Yeah, I would say the same as well. It's a great community building place and opportunity. We have meetings about once a week, and recently we have been just hanging out after our meeting has concluded. And it is just a great way to hang out, get to know people, get to know like-minded people especially. And yeah, it's just been a very fun experience.
Yeah, along with that, I'd also just say, like, don't be intimidated. I know I was intimidated when I first started at Warp and Weave. Everybody's super nice. We all are there because we love the genres that we work in, and we love what we do, and we really love being around each other. So please feel welcome to join us. And also, something that I get a lot is like, well, I love speculative fiction, but I'm not an English major. Could I be on staff? And absolutely. If you have any interest at all, please join us. We'd love to have more people from different majors.
Okay, well, thanks for talking to me. Just to repeat the names, we've got Touchstones, our literary journal, Essays, our critical analysis journal, and then Warp and Weave, the speculative fiction journal. So yeah, make sure that you check out their websites, submit your work before their deadlines if you're interested, and reach out to any of them about joining staff if that's something you're interested in. Okay, thank you.